do love me some me.
Phil Dozer line.
It just feels so good.
Welcome to the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Jonathan Detroit Haynes. What's going on, man?
Yo, yo, yo. What up, everyone? Let's get this season started. Let's go.
Let's go. It is the mega pre-show, the new tradition, the longest show of the year. Hopefully will be today's as we kick off the season started just, I guess when this comes out, it'll be just this evening. As you can tell, we are without our fabulous third host, Mr. Phil Ruxey. Man has been such on the grind, getting the team ready, getting the now Wake Forest Lumberjacks. Thank you for changing your name after I went through all the name changes, Phil. Changes his team name for the unprecedented 48th time. He's been on the grind.
Sorry, people. I can already hear people clicking the X in the top right corner.
Stay with us, please. Stay with us, please.
I don't know if they can deal with no Phil.
Give us a chance. Okay. So we'll be without Phil on this one. We do have his picks, but it's a big show. Of course, we had our draft this past Sunday. We're going to go through the review. We're going to give our worst drafts, our best drafts, our biggest reaches, our biggest steals. We're going to go through our power rankings, where we go through each team and where, as a collective unit, we rank them for the upcoming season, as well as we take one player from each team and do a little player showcase and do a little over-under bet on their position, where that player will finish. Finally, it is week one. So we do have our week one predictions, and back by popular demand to wrap up the show, the locks of the week. Let's see if I can continue my great success that I had. All right. So this was probably the most interesting draft in KDFL history. That could just be hyperbole. That could just be complete BS. It could be just because I felt like I was more involved with it than I normally am. So, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Oh, man. I wish we could have had a live stream of Inside Jeremy's Basement there. You were in full mode.
Boys, I bring it. And
full Brett mode.
I get so excited. There's no additives. There's no extra supplements. No nefarious activity. I get very amped up for these drafts.
There was rumors going around that you might have been intoxicated or
fake news
on the juice or something.
Fake news.
All right.
Not true. So let's do a quick run through of just the 1 through 12 picks, and then we'll give some reactions because we have some reactions to this draft. So Reed picks Najee Harris at 1. Phil takes Trevor Lawrence at 2. I take Trey Lance at 3. More on that in a second. Eric takes I need to go by teams. The Dunbar Dobermans take Najee Harris at 1. The Wake Forest Lumberjacks take Trevor Lawrence at 2. The Melbourne Mega Powers take Trey Lance at 3. The Roxanne Renegades take Kyle Pitts at 4. The Dobermans were back up. They get Javonte Williams at 5. Then the South Hills Evil Empire gets their first pick. They go with Jamar Chase at 6. My second pick of the first, the Mega Powers get Devontae Smith at 7. Back to the South Hills Evil Empire, who get Justin Fields at 8. The Kanawha County Kings get Mac Jones at 9. And the Roxanne Renegades again, they take Jalen Waddle at 10. The Marmot Midnight Riders get Zach Wilson. That's all 5 quarterbacks in the first round. They go at 11. And finally, the Poker Pharmacists wrap up the first round, which is the only one we'll go in detail about, with Travis Etienne at 12. So you want to give a reaction first? Because I'm going to have a lot to say.
Yeah, I thought it was it went almost like I thought it was going to be. There was a couple little surprises, but for the most part, I think it went down pretty much. Because even down towards the end, with Tim at 9, we knew he was going quarterback. Right. I had a feeling that all 5 quarterbacks are going in the first round, and they definitely did. So
I agree there. So it was fun to me. Everybody had me and Reed had potential deals. The best part about me and Reed's potential deals is Reed had no idea what they were because I didn't know what they were yet. So let me just.
How could you have a potential deal if you didn't know what they were?
Whatever I was going to do, I was going to do it to where I felt fairly confident he was going to have to say yes, because I was going to make it ridiculously sided in his favor, or so I would think. You could be wrong about that, but just so what I think. So I tried, in my opinion, very hard to trade out of one of these picks. So the first trade the first trade I tried to do was to Reed. You heard me say Mark Andrews 85 times. that night because I thought the idea being I'll get Pitts, I'll move on from get some value from Andrews, and we'll go on. And Reed has Irv Smith, who, as we know, is out for some time with an injury, so he's really hurting for tight end help. So it was going to be swap 5 and 7, and then swap this because I thought that was too much just to give Andrews up for just that. So we were also going to swap the second round. And if he didn't like that, I was also going to give him the guarantee of the next year's first round pick, whichever one's better between mine and his. We'll swap.
Nice.
Okay. Now of course, Jeremy and mine's the Evil Empire and the Mega Powers trade that was always talked about, but I don't think he ever really considered it. It was 3 for 6 and 8. So that's a heavy. It depends on how you look at it and whose vantage point you're looking at it through. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on that. I think, go ahead.
Well, I think I was shocked. I knew you had told me that you were leaning towards Trey Lance, but I figured once you couldn't get the deal that you wanted, I thought your homerism was going to take over, and I thought you were going to take Kyle Pitts. But you surprised me there. And
me and Jay both stayed firm.
And I'm very surprised that Clark had the patience and not to trade up. Decided to go with 2 players instead of the one, which I actually liked.
Yeah. In my opinion, this was the time that he should have gone up. Not just because it's me, because of the situation.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Fields might get on the field first.
He very well may. Yeah. I have no doubt about that.
Do you think Trey Lance will definitely have the better career is what you're saying?
No, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna get into the philosophy real quick, just because I don't want to get off the trades real quick. I just want to go over the last trade I had, and we'll revisit my whole thinking behind Lance. My favorite trade, and he just couldn't do it, I don't think, because of how young he'd be at quarterback. But I thought this helped each other so much based on where our teams were right now. I looked to Phil, who's weak at tight end as well, and I wanted to give him Mark Andrews and pick 7. For Matt Ryan and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. But then he's Trevor Lawrence and whatever QB he gets at 7, that's his QBs for this year when he's trying to contend. So I get maybe the sketchiness on it.
Yeah.
But that was the deal. I was like, that gets me through this Watson problem, hopefully. That still gets me Pitts at 3. I get the Ryan Pitts connection. And I get Ryan gets to come home for a year.
Did you guys talked about that or no?
We did, but he ultimately decided against it because it was going to make him really young at quarterback. I mean, his only quarterback before this draft was Matt Ryan.
Do you remember like months before this draft, he was like desperate to get 2 picks in the first round.
I was trying to facilitate that. But me and Jeremy's back and forth with this. I could just picture he's doing the same thing on his end, slamming his thumbs into his phone, texting me back. At one point I yelled in all caps. I think I yelled at him. I said, the Niners themselves gave up more than what you're willing to give up for Trey Lance.
Oh yeah, we know.
But it's okay. I looked at the quarterbacks, and I do have issues with Watson. I don't know when he's going to come back, and there's a slight outside chance that he doesn't come back.
At least I don't think he's coming back.
Not this year, but there's a slight outside chance that he does not come back.
Right.
Like this is it. And I hate to waste opportunity on 3 to not, because I'm hopefully not picking in the top 3 very often. So I hate to waste that opportunity on this. And I'm worried about Dak injury. That wasn't even the injury that put him out last year.
Well, when we get to our power rankings later,
right.
It looks like you maybe
now
picking top 3.
Yeah, it's possible. Now, okay, so I talked about the uncertainty with Watson, of course, Dak's injury. Now, when I'm looking at these quarterbacks, if you ask me who I think is the most raw, talented quarterback, I think it's Justin Fields. This is going to get confusing. But I can promise you this, when I'm looking at situation, when I'm looking at talent, talent is not the number one key thing for me. Maybe only in running back is talent the number one key thing. I can't tell you how far down talent is on the list of when I'm deciding who to go with. The situation is king.
We know the system. You always want to preach the system.
Situation is king. And when I look at these 5 quarterbacks, Mac Jones has a great situation. It's an okay situation. It's an okay situation. Zach Wilson is going to have to overcome the Jets. Justin Fields is going to have to overcome Matt Nagy. And Trevor Lawrence is going to hope that the Jaguars can build enough team around him. Trey Lance has none of those worries.
That's something we should have done. We should have ranked those 5 quarterbacks.
Well, we can't do that before the draft.
I know, but
Trey Lance has none of those worries whatsoever. I'd have been a little bit shocked, but I would have had no problem if Reed went with Lance 1.1. I'm just telling you, that's how passionate I ended up being about this. When you give me all this, poor franchises, poor coaching, a lot of them, I want the guy that Kyle Shanahan is risking his career on. That's where it basically came down. The QB whisperer. This guy took Nick Mullins to being a serviceable starting quarterback, and the man can't even make it on the Eagles. So I want that, because if this doesn't work out, you trade up and you trade for 2 quarterbacks, and neither of them end up working out. If this doesn't work out, that's it.
He's done. He's done if this doesn't work out.
Right. So I want that, because I trust his knowledge on quarterbacks, and I want to be able to piggyback off that. So we'll see what happens. In my opinion, there were 3 locks of this draft. Harris was 1, Pitts was 2, and Lance was 3. And I had scenarios where I got Lance and Pitts. That was the dream scenario. It didn't happen. So we'll go with the Alabama 3 of Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, and Calvin Ridley, baby. Okay, so Mr. Phil Ruxey has been able to join us now. Now, after we did our little he couldn't bear to listen to my whole spiel and everything, so he properly timed it.
Just awesome.
Right. So we're gonna go over best, worst, biggest steal, biggest reach. Let's go best first, and I'll let one of you two take it away. Detroit, go ahead, and then we'll go Phil. Then I'll wrap it up.
Okay. My best draft has a lot to do with what he didn't do. I think, and I'm gonna I know I'll catch hell for this, but I went with Jeremy. I went with him for the best draft because he got a starting quarterback and the best receiver in the draft in the number picks 6 and 8. And everybody thought he was going to, what was that? I like that. Anyways.
What did you see?
Was that a sound effect?
I think it was just my noise. Or was that Phil
okay.
or something?
That was just Brett making a noise, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. That was done.
Okay, my bad,
I don't know,
bad.
Jim. Best receiver in the draft.
I didn't have time to do anything today, or I would have
Okay. Well, anyways,
wasted your time.
Yes, I do think he's the best receiver in the draft.
Awful
Come
stone hands.
on.
No, come on. Awful
Whatever.
stones handsy.
Anyways, definitely the best receiver, and he got a quarterback. Everyone thought he was going to trade up to get his boy Trey Lance. The certain podcast host on here was expecting him to do that, and he didn't. I like that. I like that he got Trey Sermon at 15, and I think eventually he's going to be the starter there in San Francisco, even though I just traded for the guy that is starting. But that's why I'm going with him. I think he got, and plus we're not really going to pick the same people either. You'll see here. Clarify.
Yeah, I feel like he showed some restraint actually this time.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. He showed restraint, but I disagree that this is the time he should have. That's all I'm saying.
Of course, because you
No,
wanted him
it's
to
not
trade
that.
with you.
Did I? Because I still don't get Kyle Pitts if he trades with me. So I'm not so sure that I want him to. I'm not so sure that I wanted him to do that in hindsight. I wouldn't have got Williams,
In
and I wouldn't have
hindsight,
got.
but you did at the draft.
No, that was before I saw Eric go Pitts and I saw Reed go Williams. So I would have been Fields, Devonta Smith, and Trey Sermon, maybe. I don't know. I don't know that I wanted him to do it now in hindsight. I think he should have, but I also agree with the fact that his team. That's what I was trying to explain in the draft. I'm sure I was explaining it so clearly, but his team is built. He can take that risk on Jamar Chase after the bad camp reports, and his team can withstand. If he's wrong, he can withstand that. I cannot. I have to rebuild now. So if Jamar Chase, and I'm the guy that took him after reports of stone hands and looking awful.
The guy hasn't played in a year and a half. Give him
I
break.
agree. He could. I mean, he was touted as the best wide receiver in the draft, but the camp reports have been not so great. But what I mean is his team is perfectly made to take that risk. So I do agree that was a great pick for him. And of course, I'm big on
Justin. You got to hit
Fields.
on your picks, like you're saying.
Right. I don't have the leeway right now to do this. I like that. Phil, go ahead with your best draft.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Eric and the Rock Solana Renegades. I think He got Kyle Pitts as his first pick at number 4. He's probably the best player overall in the draft. At least what everybody's saying so far. We'll see if it actually turns out that way. He got Jalen Waddle, who, I mean, he could probably be better than either Chase or Smith after all said and done. So he's probably up there with those two guys, and he got him a few picks after both of them.
If only he had a
David
quarterback
Collins.
to throw it to him, though.
He didn't like
That's
that
true.
joke today, did he? He didn't like that one.
No.
Yeah, who knows if that's going to happen. And then Zayvon Collins, a pretty good linebacker for the Cardinals. I like De'Ami Brown, too, for the Washington football team. I think that was a pretty good pick at 30, all the way down at 30. Let's see. And then a couple other guys, Chris Evans and Pete Warner, another linebacker. And then he had the Mr. Irrelevant word.
Yes, Mr.
I won't
Irrelevant.
say that word. Mr. Irrelevant pick. Jabril Cox. Ironically, that was the pick.
Can't make
I
it
thought
up.
about that until just now. That's another good linebacker. So he loaded up on linebacker too as well, actually. And he also got some really good players on offense. So overall, I think he had the best draft.
I am not crazy about Waddle, but I'm also looking at it, and I don't know where else he goes right there.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that that's just the pick you have to make. You have Tua, you're going to get the stack now if it does work out. So I actually did like Eric's draft. I'm proud to see Kyle Pitts go to another Dumbarian. Let's just say that. My best draft. I would love to pick myself, but I will be objective and honorable as always. I loved Reed's draft, and it's not just because of 1.1 at Najee Harris, okay? Because that's obviously a great pick for him. He was struggling at running back, but then he goes Javonte Williams at 1.5. So he gets the two best picks in the draft. Now, that was a little bit of a stunner. That's why I had to wait because I didn't know what to do.
Did you say the 2 best picks in the draft?
Two best backs in the draft.
Okay, back.
Two best backs, yeah. That was a bit of a stunner. That's why I had to think a little bit before we had to stop the trade because, yeah, all that good stuff. So Javonte Williams, a great pick at 1.5. Terrence Marshall at 2.1. I love that pick. I think Robbie Anderson moves on after this year potentially, and he takes over the clear number 2 role in Carolina. Tony at 2.7. I don't know. It's a first round wide receiver, and you get him in the second round or something like this. We'll see. That's a little shaky, but we will see. Then he snipes me in the draft at round 3, pick 4. Let me get it right. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Nice.
Also known as Joke. He sniped me. I love this defensive rookie of the year potential. He could have got him right there. And he tops off his draft with a little throwaway. The old Brett Steele move that I used to always love to do. The throwaway pick at the end of the draft for a quarterback that you might maybe surprise if he gets to get in there and Trask. Obviously, Brady's not going to play forever, although we've said that for 5 years. But Trask is in his home state of Florida, and he is learning from the best. So don't quote that.
Yeah,
So
I really like Reed's draft.
I really thought Reed. Some would say that it's the best draft in years potentially.
Man, who said that?
I don't know. It sounds like I did. All right.
Yeah.
That's a Phil. That's a
talked
Phil
about
quote.
that in the past, did we?
Yeah, that's a Phil quote. All right. So moving on, worst draft, Detroit. Take it away.
Well, for the worst draft, I didn't have to look very far.
I don't know who your pick is, do I? Oh yeah, I do.
Actually,
Sorry.
I think it's by a runaway. I had to go with the Elkview River Rats, and that is myself. And partly the reason Mr. Brett Steele there had pick number 7, which should have been my pick, but I had traded him last year for Devin Singletary because I had Zach Moss. So
Did you think about who you'd go right there? Would it have been Devonta Smith?
I probably would have went quarterback. To be honest.
Different
I don't think
situation.
you would
Yeah,
have Fields, though,
Yeah.
would you? For sure, you wouldn't have Fields.
he wouldn't have had a chance. Oh
I
yeah.
don't
Well,
know. Because he's a Buckeye, but no, I don't. It would have been him or Mac Jones, to be honest.
he probably
Yeah, I think he
wouldn't have
would've
had the
been Mac
chance to. He probably wouldn't have had the chance to go Fields because Jeremy would have had to go Fields at 6 because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Detroit.
that's
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely would have went quarterback because right now I got Rodgers and Lamar, but who knows? Well, I do have Jordan Love, so hopefully Rodgers moves
True.
on to somewhere else. But
That would have been an interesting spot for you.
yeah, but then pick 18, I was sniped twice because I had Trey Sermon and Micah Parsons on my list, and that's the whole reason why I traded up. I thought Parsons would have been gone anyways because I thought LJ was taking him.
I did too.
Because LJ's a Cowboys homer. And then when Clark traded up with Eric and took Trey Sermon, I was like, crap, well, at least I'll get Parsons. But, of course, no Brett, who told me he wasn't taking defense in the second round. And what's he do right before me? He takes Micah Parsons. But I ended up getting Jamin Davis, and I do like him a lot. I think at Washington, that front four is going to be just dominant, and he's going to get a lot of free way to just hammer some people. But the reason I'm picking myself is because I really didn't have a lot of picks. I came back in the round 3 with Chuba Hubbard. Who knows? I mean, if CMC gets hurt again, he'll probably get a lot of playing time. And then I took a shot with the quarterback, David Mills, for the Texans.
I actually like that pick.
Like what you were talking about. You might as well at that point take a shot at a quarterback. So that's really why I went with myself, because I really didn't have a lot of picks. So
I like the whatever pick, the one you just said. Mills.
David Mills.
Sorry, I always want to call him David Sims. That's my problem. I did it at the draft.
I said David.
David. Yeah, you said David, but it's David.
I'm pretty sure I called him Sims at the draft, and we all know how good I can be with names at times when I get a name stuck in my head.
Well, we think we all know why
yeah.
you were like that at the draft. But anyways.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing you did. I'm gonna go with
you
myself.
guys.
I mean, did you see my draft though? I only had, I think, three or four picks to start with, and I made a trade for one. I feel like it was just top heavy. I got Trevor Lawrence at number 2. Of course, I feel like that's a great pick, but other than that, I mean, I kind of just had to pick a guy that I like their name or something. I don't know. But funny story about this is, I think, Brett, you had the 29th pick in the second round.
Yes, I did.
I had sent you a message on Discord. I don't think you saw it, though.
I saw it later. I think I even said it at the draft. I said, oh, crap, Phil sent me a message.
Well, I sent you one, and then you didn't respond, so I figured you just didn't see it.
I didn't.
And I think it was Eric or Mike. I think I sent one right after that because they had to pick like 1 or 2 picks right after you. They didn't respond to either. So then I finally got Eric to respond for like that later pick at 34. But by that time, I wasn't paying attention to the rest of the draft. The guys that I wanted to trade up for had already been drafted. So I was forced to just like pick a random running back.
And
I
for the
took the guy
Lions.
for the Lions. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Anyway,
terrible.
Who were you taking at 29? Who'd you have in mind?
it was guys that were taken like way earlier. Like Kadarius Toney was on my board.
Man, my man was out of it.
Rondell
you were
Moore,
way
and
up.
then Ramondre Stevenson.
Rondell
I was
Moore?
looking at him too. Yeah, so they were taking like 5 picks earlier.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
All right. This is going to be part of a flashback, but maybe he'll strike lightning in a bottle twice with me. My worst draft. The Boca Pharmacist.
Oh, God.
LJ. My man had pick 6 and 12. He came in wanting a good a nice young quarterback, and a nice young starting running back. He leads with Zeke. Very nice for a few years. And he leads with Big Ben. So for 1 year. And then he gets Etienne, who's out for the year with a serious injury. Who knows what will happen with that career. And he gets Michael Carter, who is 4th on the depth chart for the Jets right now. And his best pick was his last pick in Stevenson, but he gets in that lovely, that's always clear as mud, running back field for New England. Stevenson was his best pick, in my opinion, especially for where he got him. That's a little bit later than I thought he'd go. But, yeah, LJ, you had a plan, and you zeked it up.
Ooh. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. It sounded good. I just thought of that off the top right there. I like it. We're going to roll with it. All right. Where are we at now? We're at last time I told him he had the worst draft. Remember, he got Terry McLaurin. So maybe it's going to be a success
that's
again.
true.
Biggest steal, Detroit. Take it away.
All right. I hate to even say this, but biggest steal, I'm going to have to go with the Mega Powers. And his pick with I forgot where it's at. Josh Palmer. I don't remember which pick. Number 29.
Literally just talked about it. Yep.
Yeah. That's true. I love his landing spot with the Chargers. I think I could see him getting a lot of playing time. I just think that was a steal of draft. I don't know. I was looking at him too at 27, but then I was like, nah, I need some running back depth. And that's why I went with Hubbard. And then to see you take him 2 picks later just made me sick.
He is the single pick I had that I'm the most excited about.
Well, it was a good pick. I hate to
Deep
say it,
for
but it
deep.
was.
Oh, thank you, sir. Phil, not that I've seen these already, but go ahead and do your biggest steal.
Oh, damn, I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to go another mega power pick.
What
Nico
is going
Collins at pick 43. He was probably ranked in most boards up in the top 25, I would say. And I probably should have taken him when I traded up to 34, but I completely missed him. And then he slipped all the way down to go 43. He's with the Texans. That could be a bit of an issue early on.
I'm not a big fan of that pick, but whatever.
Pick 43.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll work out.
Herb, you picked his quarterback 2 picks later.
That's a quarterback, though. That's different.
That quarterback was never going to play, but it's
Yeah.
That was one where I couldn't believe that he was still there.
Yeah, I mean,
Nico Collins.
I think he's good enough to be.
I don't know. I watched him a lot at
quarterback.
Michigan. I'm not that.
We'll see. I mean, you're hoping for. I mean, it's a steal for a reason. So, biggest steal, STEELE, baby. All right, Adam Cole, shut up. All right, now my biggest steal of the draft. It hurt me, man. I don't know if anybody's ever been sniped at pick 36. That's a long way down to get sniped. But I love me some Larry Roundtree the third. Chargers have been trying to get a solid backup to Eckler for a while now. They get Justin Jackson. Not inspiring. They get Josh Kelly.
Are you a secret Chargers fan?
Dude, AFC Championship game. Come on. I go with then Josh Kelly. Still not comfortable with him. They haven't been able to get that to cement a backup running back role for Eckler, who is older and will get banged up at some point in the season. He just has that play style. Roundtree looked great when he was out there. I love the value at 36. So good on the Cross Vegas Gamblers. I've tied my name to Larry Roundtree in a few different drafts now. For better or for worse, this is my dude by proxy. So we'll see if he does good. So shout out to the Cross Vegas Gamblers.
I'm just not sold on Eckler. I don't know what it is. I'm just not sold on him.
And can I interest you on the guy that spells his name Roundtree with no D?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So biggest reach, Detroit.
This I think you hit on this at the actual draft, and you were making fun of him. But that is your long time.
I wish he was lost.
His friend Tim McCarthy and his pick of Kelly Mond. What pick was that? That was.
Well, Kelly, I don't know when Kelly went. Kellen went.
Kellen. Well,
Kellen went at pick 26. I still can't believe it.
Yeah, it was almost the top of the third round. I don't know what he was doing there. I know he's desperate for quarterbacks, but he got Mac Jones. I would have went. I mean, look at all those players that went behind him. I mean, we just covered all of them, but
yeah, Joke, Palmer, Delamy Brown. It's a lot of the ones we just covered.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there. I think that's a terrible pick.
Larry Roundtree.
Granted, he's playing. I mean, he might get some playing time because Cousins is trash, but
I think it's just handcuffing. I mean, I don't hate to say handcuffing, but getting the starting quarterbacks in Minnesota.
I guess that was his last pick of the draft for that draft, though. So maybe that's what he was thinking. But still, I would have traded down.
Yeah. Phil, biggest reach.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see too many throughout the first couple rounds, so I think I just have to go with my.
You're picking yourself for worst draft biggest reach.
I mean, my pick at 34, Jamar Jefferson. I mean, I basically got crap when I made that pick from a couple guys, and like I said earlier, I already explained that I was kind of like I just threw a dart at the board and I picked a name off of that. So I didn't really know a whole lot about him to begin with, and I was hoping for other guys at that point, but I wasn't paying attention. And they were already gone. So, yeah, that's Jamar Jefferson at 34. Biggest reach.
All right. Now, I don't know how – I know you will remember this, Detroit, but I don't know how well the listeners will remember my breakdown of DK Metcalf. But this is about to sound so identical. I even have in my notes, warning, this is going to sound very DK-like, but here we go. My biggest reach is the busting with Amon St. Brown at pick. Which one was this? This was pick. Good radio. Pick 21. Look, I think the Bustin fell in love with the name. I'm just gonna be honest. just like Detroit with the shirtless picks. I think he fell in love with the name. But look, it's not because of him, because it's not a very crowded wide receiver field in Detroit. We know this. But I love a lot of the players who went after him, which is exactly what I said with DK, if you remember. But I just like a lot of the other players. Rondale Moore at Arizona, Rashad Bateman at Baltimore, and of course, Josh Palmer with the Chargers. I love all three of those from the wide receiver position over St. Brown. So for that reason, I have to sadly give the Bustin my biggest reach of the draft.
I agree with you, but I did see a lot of mocks or rankings, dynasty rookie rankings, where had him around that about the 2022 mark, somewhere in there.
It's a good name.
I feel like I don't know. I'm liking St. Brown for some reason. I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but
from what I've read, he's looked really well.
There is no scenario where I take St. Brown over Rashad Bateman.
I agree with you there.
If Stafford is still there, do you take him?
Ooh, I don't know. That's interesting, Phil. Probably so.
Is it because of golf? Is that why you're not taking
It's not because of golf, but I mean, you guys, I don't know what's going to happen to Detroit. Detroit is either going to be the greatest thing ever, the best dumpster fire you've ever seen.
Why
You
would you
literally
say the
can't.
greatest thing ever?
Because this coach is biting
worst
people's kneecaps
dumpster fire.
off. He's installing random stuff.
Yeah, but they're not.
I don't know what to expect of this team right now.
I feel like they're going to be in a lot of games for like 3 quarters, and then they're going to lose a lot of games too.
I see them winning 3 games max.
Yeah, but I think he's the kind of coach that's got to keep him in games. I don't know. That's how I get what I get from them.
Okay, are we ready for the power rankings?
Let's do it.
All right, so here's what we do. I love how we independently did our rankings 1 through 12 of our teams. I took the aggregate of those scores, ranked those, and so we'll each talk on the teams a little bit. It's not very structured. We'll talk on the teams a little bit, and then each team has a showcase player, what we call it. There's 4 wide receivers, 4 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, and we'll pick a position for them or their position and where they'll rank at the end of the year, similar to the Juju and the Gurley bat of last year and all that good stuff. So number 12, we have, pains me to do it, the Kanawha County Kings. Coming in at number 12, and I said I was going to go ahead and jump on a grenade for my buddy here and go through this team. I like the moves he's made in recent days. I like the Myers pickup. I love the Gus Edwards, Kareem Hunt. Nyheim Hines is somebody he actually enlightened me on. I had no idea Nyheim Hines had such a good year last year. Right, running back number 9.
I didn't know that either.
No idea. He had he's a little bit of a PPR animal. Personally, and this will come back to bite me, but it's an opinion show, so that's what we do. I would have went Zach Wilson over Mac Jones because I think he already has a Mac Jones and Kirk Cousins, a nice, dependable, going to get you a certain amount of points quarterback. And I think Zach Wilson could either be great or terrible. Now, Juju Smith-Schuster, I like that pickup. He's getting a lot of depth, and I am very interested to see where Michael Gallup ends up next year. If I think because he's going to be the one to go, I think Cooper might end up staying. That'll be an interesting dynamic because Gallup should be able to flourish in an offense. It's just a crowded offense there in Dallas. So Kanawha County Kings at number 12, not a huge surprise. I don't think we even really get to much surprises until we get around the 8 to top range. So showcase player. This is a new format. So showcase player. We'll go with one of his rookies, a rookie that's pretty well talked about, Elijah Moore. Over under. He took Elijah Moore with pick 14 overall. Wide receiver for the Jets, obviously. Over under Elijah Moore making it as a wide receiver 3 this year. So top 36. Detroit, I will go to you. We'll do the same order that we did the previous questions to make it easy.
I don't see it. I don't. I think rookie wide receivers usually tend to struggle. So I do not see him being in the top 36. I'm going to say about the 40 range.
Okay. Phil.
I'm going to disagree on this one. I think he's going to do it. I just think Wilson's going to look to him a lot this season when he does throw the ball. I have a feeling they'll probably run the ball a lot. But when he's throwing the ball, I think Moore is going to be his go-to target.
I think Corey Davis will be.
I have him outside, and there's a reason for that coming up, and it's exactly what Detroit just said. Actually, I have him outside the top 36. So a little bit of a disagreement on that one. Now, next up, I don't understand this man. I don't understand his brain. It's possibly too complex for me to understand. The Hurricane Wampus Cats comes in at number 11. Phil, take it away. What we have here?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's building for the future, and it seems like he's been doing that for a couple years. Not sure why. I mean, he's got some really good talent, though. I mean, Kyler Murray is like a really good fantasy quarterback. Running back, he's got Nick Chubb. I really like Nick Chubb, but James Conner and Kenyon Drake, not too high on those guys. Wide receiver, he's really young at wide receiver, but still not like the top fantasy guys. I mean, Lockett's good. Tyler Boyd, he's okay. I feel like he's at best a wide receiver 2, though, which is basically what he hasn't been. And Marquise Brown, he's kind of just like a big playmaker, but doesn't put up a lot of points. But Justin Herbert, I do like Justin Herbert. I feel like he's probably going to be up near the top of the QB rankings this year. And I guess we'll talk about him in a few seconds. But yeah, overall, I could see him finishing a little higher than that. But yeah, I think 11 is probably a pretty good spot for him.
I had Phil talk about him because he's doing the Phil. He's trying to contend and also tank at the same time. I don't understand why you go for Nick Chubb if you're just going to.
Right.
I don't understand.
It does make sense.
I love the corner pieces of Herbert and Murray. He could easily have 2 top 6 quarterbacks this year. But then it just falls straight off a cliff. We send Hopkins away. We send Adams away. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't understand that either. I mean, you're kind of giving away the early years of those quarterbacks. You're not going to contend. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And
Not a fan of it either. But
take it from experience. Those young quarterbacks, stuff can go wrong. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
All right. So he was a consensus 11 across the board. Next up, we have the Dunbar Dobermans.
You didn't do the player.
Sorry, see, the new format's going to screw me up. Keep me honest there. Player showcase. Phil literally said it. I thought it was the next team that we're going to do it with. Justin Herbert. Over, under, this rookie of the year, over, under, quarterback 8.5. So top 8 QB or not. Go ahead, Detroit.
Yes. That's all I need to say.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be up there as well. I think he's going to have another great season.
I have him outside the top 8 because we're going to get some defenses. We're going to get some tape on them. Sometimes the sophomore slump is a very famous thing. So
you could just say no and just move on.
Well, I got to get a little insight. People come for the material. They come for the knowledge. I just did Italian hands for some reason right there. I don't know why. All right.
Forget about it.
They come for the knowledge. All right. Next up, we have as I said, the Dunbar Dobermans. Detroit has him at 9. Me and Phil both had him at 10. Go ahead, Detroit.
Yeah, I had him ranked higher than you guys. I guess I'm bigger. I like what he's done the last 2 years in his drafts. He got Joe Burrow 2 years ago. He's got Josh Allen as his other quarterback. I think this year he did. I mean, he hit his draft really well. He already had Miles Sanders. Now he has Najee Harris. And then he got, I can't remember his name, Javonte Williams. The Broncos.
Yep.
If Odell Beckham can come back and play well, I think his team's going to surprise a lot of people. And he's got 2 really good linebackers in Fred Warner and Jordan Brooks. So that's a team that could surprise a lot. I think he's maybe 1 year away from making the playoffs.
That is exactly what I was going to say. This team might not make the playoffs this year. Next year, he should be on there.
Yeah.
I would think. I mean, just off the top.
And his player is – who we go with? Oh, we went Harris.
Najee Harris. Over, under, running back 6.5. So this is the only reason I got this line is because this was CEH's line last year. That's why it's there.
I don't think so. I don't see this happening. I think the Steelers' offensive line is really weak. They lost Pouncey. They were banged up a lot last year. They have a lot of question marks. So I don't see him reaching top 6. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just too high. I do think, I mean, the Steelers line is pretty bad, but I think he's going to get a lot of carries. So I think he's going to have a chance to put up a lot of points, but that just might be a little too high. And I'm kind of basing that on my disappointment from CEH from last season.
I have him under. I have him as a top 6 because of this being a PPR league, and I think that he is going to get work, and he can handle it. So, and Big Ben's not rocking the ball down the field that hard anymore. It's like I'm thinking of a Le'Veon Bell coming back, that type of situation. So I have him as a top 6. Be a heck of a year.
Be a lot like Drew Brees, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like when Big Ben had Le'Veon and dumped it off to him a lot, and he did big things. He's looked phenomenal in the preseason. So I have him as a top 6, and this was the miss. As pointed out to me by old Angry Matt, this was the miss in our Rookie of the Years. None of us mentioned Najee. He could easily be the Rookie of the Year this year. It's just with 5 quarterbacks in the first round, it's typically hard to break that through that. All right, next up, the Melbourne Mega Powers. I don't know why I'm saying this excitedly because we're at number 9. So the Melbourne Mega Powers, Phil has us at 8, Detroit at 10, and me at 9. I just now remembered that I am the one talking about my own team. So where is it? There we are. Running back is the issue. Running back, and Trey Lance has to get on the field and be decent. But running back is my main issue. I think wide receiver, Ridley, Judy, Smith, Cook should be good. Of course, we have Mark Andrews. I don't know if you knew that. Marvin Jones on the bench right now. And also Alan Lazard was good until he got hurt. And a player to watch on the bench is Russell Gage. I didn't get Pitts, but I do have Ridley and Gage, and Gage is supposed to take a step forward. So we'll see. Trying to address the defense a little bit with Parsons. I want to joke as well. Obviously, it didn't get them. So we'll see. A lot of issues in Melbourne right now. Nothing, Ed?
No, you
look at me go. Look at me go. The player showcase.
We're waiting for you to give us
the player showcase is the player we drafted up for last year in the draft, Mr. Antonio Gibson. Over under the running back 10.5. So top 10 back this year.
I'm going to say just outside of it.
Yeah,
I really like him.
Outside.
I think he'll be top 15. I'm a big fan of him. But I don't see him being top 10 yet.
Yeah, I'm going to say he does get top 10. He was 14 last year, and I think he's just going to have an even better season this year. I think he's going to get a lot of carries, going to get the ball a lot. So, yeah, I think he's going to be up there.
If J.D. McKissick didn't exist, I would have said this line probably top 7. But they seem to love him there. I have it in my notes. I have him as under. I haven't been in the top 10 back, but it says like seriously, maybe number 10 on the dot. So me and Detroit are basically coin flipping where we're having him finish. So, but yeah, I have him right there as 10 because I'm not going to leave my guy out in the cold. So there we go. Next up, number 7, number 8, the Rocks Atlanta Renegades. Let's see. I'm going to get my breakdown here. Phil has them at 9. Detroit has them at 8. I have them at 7. This is Detroit, correct?
Yeah, this is me.
Yes, this is you.
This is Mr. You almost want to call Eric Detroit because he is the biggest Detroit homer we know. If there's a Detroit line, he's always taking them. It's funny that Stafford got traded to the Rams and Goff to the Lions because he has both of those quarterbacks. I love Jonathan Taylor on his team. I think David Montgomery is going to have a huge year. I think Corey Davis, once he got out of Elkview, is going to be really top. Actually, we're going to talk about this in a minute. But I think he's going to be one of the top 20 receivers this year. TJ Hawkinson, another line. He's one of the best tight ends already. And I love his linebackers. Edmonds, Leonard, or Leonard, however you want to say it, and Collins. I think he's strong there. So Eric might be on the way up. So I do like his team, just not there yet.
Sneaky best running back trio, the best sneaky 3 running backs in the league.
Still not sold on Swift.
I mean, Montgomery running back 4, Taylor running back 6, and he didn't get all the load last year until later on. So
I really like those 2, but Swift's got to show me a little bit.
And we joked about Tua earlier, but Tua has been showing promise. So if he can get that Waddle to Tua connection going, could be special.
I mean, does he have any other quarterbacks besides Goff? I don't think so.
Stafford.
Oh, he's got Tyrod Taylor. He must have picked them up.
He did pick him up for reasons known only to him, but we'll see what happens. When does he get in your lineup?
Oh, as for the player showcase,
Woo!
talking about Corey Davis, yes, I think he's going to be top 20 this year.
Friend of the pod, Corey Davis, KDFL Zone. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. I mean, he just has yet to have a top 25
Hey,
finish. And I just think he's going to be in that same range again, 25 to 30. So I don't think he's going to be top 20.
the line for the record was over under wide receiver 24.5. So running or wide receiver 2. Of course. What do you mean? Of course he's going to be a wide receiver 2. The man's the number 1 now.
I'm
It's
telling you,
time
he's
for
not gonna
him
be
to
the number one.
shine. The KDFL, all the way back for the players we don't want to give up on, me in Detroit. We love us some Corey Davis. Pick number 3 in the KDFL draft at one
I
point.
finally gave up on him. I traded him there.
No. You just knew it was better for him. Corey Davis, of course, finishes in the top 2 wide receiver. Come on now. All right. Love you, Corey. Next up, number 7. The number 7 has us coming in with the Marmette Midnight Riders, Detroit and Phil, both at 7. I had him at 8. This is last year's runner-up. We're all predicting a little bit of a Super Bowl letdown. So, Phil, take it away. This is your nemesis, Mike. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he made it to the championship last year, but we talked about Eckler a little bit earlier. I'm just not big on him. Jamal Williams is probably not going to get a lot of carries this season. I do like Keenan Allen and Tyreek Hill. Of course, Justin Jefferson had a huge season last year in his first season. But Sam Darnold is his QB2, not liking that a whole lot. And Baker's his QB1. I feel like Baker's probably a top 20 quarterback, but I'm not sure he's going to be much better than that. And then defense is okay. He's got some good players like Cunningham and Kwiatkowski at linebacker, Hassan Reddick, and then Daniel Sorensen. I really like him at safety. But overall, yeah, I think 7 is a good spot. But I could see him making the playoffs again, maybe at 5 or 6.
Tell me how we're gonna navigate these 4: Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, and Teddy Bridgewater. Every week you have to start 2.
Yeah, I know. I was torn. My number 7 and number 6, I was torn between those 2. Well,
yeah, it's gonna be hard to pick the right 2 every week.
So the player showcase for him is Sam Darnold going from the Jets to the Panthers, and we have his. I think this is the Jimmy G line. Caught hell for last year. The over/under quarterback. He's going to be a QB2, so 24.5. That's not crazy. We start 2 quarterbacks most of the time, so I mean it's good to have 2 in the top 24.
I'm going to say yes, he will. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I can see him being top 22, somewhere in there. What about you, Phil?
What did I say on this one? I don't remember. Hold on, let me check it.
You have Sam Darnold is over, which means I don't know what you meant. He'll beat the spread. Yes, you have him inside.
Yeah, I have him in the top 24.5. Yeah, so I think he's gonna beat that. I mean, he's probably not gonna have to throw a lot with McCaffrey behind him. But yeah, I still think he's gonna be up there.
There's 2 main quarterbacks that I have, and this is your chance to redeem yourself. It's Carson Wentz. It's Sam Darnold. I believed in Sam Darnold when he came out. I believe the Jets ruined him. So we'll see if he gets redemption because now it's on him. So this is a chance to succeed. This offense is actually secretly loaded. Yeah, we'll see. I have him under. We all 3 have Sam Darnold as a top as QB2. All right, moving on. Phil, back to back, the Wake Forest Lumberjacks. Take it away, Phil. You're at number 6. Now let's do this. Because we're gonna get the champions later. We're gonna try to swirl your brain here. Lumberjacks, you have at 5. Detroit and me both have you at 6. Go ahead and give us a little Phil breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, regular season last year, I pretty much dominated the league. I mean, hate to use any other word, but dominated. I only lost 2 games. Once I hit the playoffs, that's a different story. You know, kind of collapsed, kind of fell right off the edge of the building. I feel like I was either 1 or 2 players away, honestly, like a second quarterback. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be that answer. I'm still confident in Matt Ryan, even though I tried to trade him several times in the offseason. He puts up big numbers for fantasy. I mean, he's not a terrible quarterback. either way, fantasy or in real life. So I really like that. The one piece I'm really still just kind of not sure about is CEH. He was supposed to have a huge season last year in his rookie season. That didn't turn out. He's already kind of dinged up early this season before the season even starts. But I still feel like I'm a good enough team to make the playoffs. So that's why I have myself at 5.
This man just said he tried to trade Matt Ryan and he's not sure of CEH. One white knight came around to try to alleviate him of both of those question marks. Is not to be.
Yeah, I don't see it. But okay.
All right. The player for Phil is quarterback Trevor Lawrence. We gave him the Joe Burrow line of over under a QB 1.5, so QB 16.5. That's not 1.5 of 12, by the way.
He will not.
1.5 of the starting quarterbacks in the league. That's what it was. Saying. I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. Go ahead.
I see him more like a 23, 24.
23, 24.
Yeah.
This is the best thing since Andrew Luck.
He's going to struggle.
I have him over. I think he's going to be way up there. I'm hoping he's going to be way up there anyways because he's on my team.
When you say, okay, he means inside.
Yeah. I have him top 16.5. But because I think like he's supposed to be the best player in like the last 10 years. The best quarterback.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I also have him outside the top 16. Not because of him. Right. When did Peyton Manning finish his first year? I know he's interception crazy. I have a hard time believing he was the top 16. It's the team. It's the surroundings. It's not whether or not Trevor Lawrence is good enough. It's if Jacksonville is good enough to put a team around him. So, all right. So Phil's in on his guy. Me and Detroit are not as far as top 16. So next up, the Polka Pharmacist. Now, I think we've finally entered where we get some interesting diversions in our rankings right here. The Polka Pharmacist come in at number 5. Here are the rankings. Phil at 3, me at 3, Detroit at 5. So honestly, I set it up. I thought it was a little more different than it was, but there's more coming up than there are. So Detroit, you have them at 5. You have them at the lowest by a couple spots, and we're getting near the top here. So go ahead and give us your pharmacist breakdown.
It's funny that I have him the lowest, and I'm really big on him this year. I like his team a lot. I think the one question mark on his team is his quarterbacks. We'll see if Tannehill can keep it up. Big Ben, he could always go down. His backups, who's his backup quarterback? Cam Newton. Well, he doesn't even have a team.
Well,
Gardner Minshew. So if one of those quarterbacks go down, he's going to be on the trading block. He's going to be looking to make a trade. So
Big Ben has a stellar health history, so we should be good.
Yeah, exactly. So we should be good. Love his wide receivers.
Yeah, his wide receivers are very strong.
Yes, I like Chase Edmonds, and I do like Zeke. I don't know. I really like his team. His defense could do a little bit better. But I don't know. I really am high on this team. I don't know why I picked him as 5. Okay.
Great breakdown.
I broke down his quarterbacks.
Tannehill is, if anybody's drafted with me within a lot of leagues, Tannehill's my sneaky favorite play. The quarterback 3, a lot of people don't know he's the quarterback number 3 after A.J. Brown came back in fantasy. A lot of people don't know that. And he's got Julio now. He's going to sling it. So that's why I have him a lot higher than others might, or than you do. I have him in top 3. I mean, a middle finish after being out of the playoffs last year is a big deal. So, his if you got anything on the pharmacist, Phil?
No, I think you guys covered it pretty well.
So the over under or his player showcase
is Zeke, of course.
Ezekiel Elliott over under the running back 6.5. So the top half of an RB1. Go ahead, Detroit.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. I think he's going to be 6th.
All right, Phil.
I'm just not seeing it. I think he's going to be probably like 8 or 9. I just don't think he's going to be that high ever again, probably.
I have him outside of the top 6 as well. Just it's crowded. A lot can go on. I got Najee in there now. I can't have Najee in there and Zeke. Like I got musical chairs. Yeah. I'm running out of chairs.
There's no way Harris has more points than Zeke if they're both healthy.
We'll see. We shall see. We shall see, sir. Number 4. This is number 4. We have the South Hills Evil Empire. When we break these down, Phil's at 2, Detroit is at 3, and I am at 5. What happened? I look at the projections of the projected points for all the top 6 or whatever. Everyone is over the 4,000 mark, and the South Hills Evil Empire is at 3,750 or so. Obviously, the projections on that big a scale cannot be taken that seriously, but it is worth noting when you're 300 some points off of the other teams around you. Now, it doesn't count on Justin Fields going on, but it also doesn't count on Jimmy G being benched. So, I just feel as if he's going to have some age problems hit him in the face. Julio, it's starting to come to roost for old Julio. I don't know how many games he's going to give you. If it's anything like the Falcons' luck, he'll go out, he'll dominate. But I don't know. Saquon Barkley, we're going to need some help, or this is going to start getting into the bust category. As wild as that is to think about, Joe Mixon, they didn't address that offensive line nearly enough. He's going to be running into a lot of brick walls. Kittle's got to stay healthy. It's just a lot of question marks, but I think a lot of other teams may be really solid. I love Mahomes. I really like Cooper, and as we're about to do, his player showcase is Cooper Kupp. I really like him too. Detroit, take it away on his player showcase. Cooper Kupp over under the wide receiver 18.5. He's 4 years in the league. He's done it twice. He's missed it twice.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, he's got a better quarterback. He might hit top 10 this year. I'm really high on the Rams this year.
Here's good wide receiver 4.
Yeah, so I could see that. So I'm saying yes.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Stafford is definitely a big step up at quarterback, so I think that's going to help him out a lot. I don't think he's as good a player as he was a couple years ago, but I still think he's going to beat that number.
I too have him inside. Now, real quick, I meant to do this earlier when I started talking about it, but the trade breakdown. We gave so much debate back and forth. The Zeke trade is not an insult, it's a complimentary when I tell you that this man got Zeke at 24, got rid of him at 26, and gets back in the first round. It is a masterclass in getting rid of players at the right time. I think Zeke could be great this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a running back 1, but his time is slowly fading, you would think. And I did a little research, okay? Since the rookie draft in 2012, we did the draft, then we did the rookie draft. After that, put that draft away. Since that draft, based on what I've seen, I could have this wrong. I did this very quick, but it's not very many times. Jeremy has never been in the top 6 naturally. But in that period, he's either got up in the top 6 or he's gotten the first round when he wasn't going to be in the first round 6 times. This is year 10 of this league. That is an amazing ability to turn over your team, trade away, get key pieces, and keep on pumping. He's never had to reload like some of us are going through right now. Detroit just came through a rebuild. I'm in it right now. It's amazing to me. He's constantly trying this as much praise as I'll give him. But I did that research, and I love to see that type of turnover. It really is a masterclass. And the best part is, oh, you idiots, applaud him as he does it. Next up, number 5. Let me get back on track here. Not 5. See how rather I got number 5. We just did number 4. Number 3, we have the Elk View River Rats.
Oh man, I wasn't number 1.
Oh, the ranking, the breakdown of the River Rats. Phil at 4, Detroit at 1, me at 4.
You guys had me at 4. What's wrong with you guys? Well, my team with Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, is there a better 1-2 quarterback situation? I mean, Rodgers is going to put up tons. Yes, Lamar he gets tons of points in this league. You team him up. You got Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Travis Kelce. I mean, those are monsters. So Chase Claypool, he's on the rise. One thing I worry about is my running backs. I don't have a lot of depth there. I did have to trade Chubb to get Devontae Adams, but my linebackers, they're getting better. Hopefully My defense can hold it up. My defensive backs are pretty decent. So, yeah, that's why I picked myself number one.
The only issue, I feel like you got hurt by the Michelle trade because you were ready to go with Henderson, and then we were in good shape.
Well, that's why I made the other trade.
Right. I like the Mostert addition until it obviously goes south as it always will. But your player showcase is Chase Claypool, wide receiver, top 24, wide receiver 2, so 24.5.
I'm hoping that he will be, but I just don't trust Big Ben. So I'm going to say no. If he had a competent quarterback that would stay healthy, then yes, I could see that. He showed the brilliance last year. Sometimes they go a little too much to Deontay, was it Johnson?
Yes.
They go to him a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to say no, he's not.
Phil?
Yeah, I think he will. I think even with Big Ben at quarterback, I think he's still a good enough player to overcome that. So I think he's going to take a big step forward this year and be inside the top 24.5.
Let's see what I have him at. I have him as outside of the top 24.5. It's a loaded wide receiver core. That injury was a little scary in the preseason. Yes, he is reportedly over it, but that was a little bit scary for a second. I like Deontay Johnson this year a lot. Again, Najee Harris, I think, is going to do a lot. It's just crowded, man. It's crowded. So we'll see. For him to get top 24, I think they're going to have to be pretty loaded and have a pretty successful season offensively. All right. Now, this is going to be good. Next up, at number 2, we have the Babole Bearded Barons. Go through the rankings. I have him at 1. Detroit has him at 2. Phil has him at number 6. Probably the only reason why he's not ranked number 1. Actually, guarantee the only reason he's not ranked number 1. Mr. Phil Ruxey. Take it away, Phil. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he only has Russell Wilson, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, A.J. Brown, Robbie Anderson, DeAndre Hopkins, Noah Fant, Derek Carr. And that's not even mentioning his defense. So now I'm kind of regretting number 6 after really looking at his team again. Yeah, he has all the linebackers that he took in that one draft last year or the year before. I mean, any team with McCaffrey is pretty much going to be a top team probably. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of a reason why I put him at 6.
Pure hate in your heart. Just say it.
It may have been. Yeah.
Pure hate.
Is it
It
because
may
of the
have been.
politics? Is that what
No,
happened?
we don't talk politics.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to leave that one there.
His player showcase. I'm interested to y'all because this is a mystery to me. I'm really not confident either way on this. But his player showcase, I'm very interested to hear what y'all have to say. Josh Jacobs over under an RB1, so 12.5.
No,
I don't
no way.
What is the deal? Why is he falling off in everybody's eyes?
I just don't think their offense is very good. Besides the tight end, that's all I see. I don't like the quarterback.
I'm not sure he's that good. Honestly,
Random car shot.
Yeah.
We're talking about Josh Jacobs and Detroit just works in. I don't like Derek Carr. Just so you know.
I have to make Matt angry.
Oh,
But that's all right.
Phil, you have him outside as well.
Yeah, I do. I think he's gonna be a few spots below that.
I have him at number 12. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I have him at number
Of course
12.
you
I don't
do. You're
know.
afraid
I
of
don't know
Matt.
why. Why is he falling off for? I don't get. I mean, the offensive line took a couple hits. The Kenyon Drake sign's a little overrated, by the way. I don't know why everybody's losing their mind over that. I don't know. I have him like right at 12. So Josh Jacobs, please do right by me. That means we have one more team left, and because y'all are cowards and went chalk, except I did it too, actually. Cross Vegas Gamblers come in at number 1, last year's champion. Phil has them at number 1. Detroit has them at number 4. I have them at number 2. Simply put, this defense is very, very stout. I think it was a sneaky part of why he got there last year. It's harder to break down defense as much in these leagues when we were all focused on offense, obviously. Of course, Dalvin Cook had the monster year. Tom Brady did better than a lot of people expected. Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb this year, they should take the next step forward. DJ Moore also with him as well. I even like Gaskin a lot, man. Gaskin should be a workhorse if they rely on him, and all the reports and everything they're saying seems to be that they are. So
I worry about his quarterbacks. I really do. Brady's
you worry about his quarterbacks?
Yeah, Brady's 44.
You worry about his quarterbacks?
Look at Carson Wentz as his other starter.
Interesting you would say that. His player showcase is Mr. Carson Wentz over under a QB 1.5, over under top half QBs in the league, 16.5.
No chance. There's no way he plays the whole year. When was the last time Wentz played the whole year?
I don't know.
It wasn't even
Rookie,
the Super
rookie
Bowl
year?
Yeah.
Rookie year?
Probably.
So I'm saying
You're outside as well, Phil?
Yeah, I have him outside. I think he can be top 20, but I think that.
Okay, so yeah, set the line. Set the line, Detroit. What 24? 20?
you said 16.5 just a minute.
I said 6.5, but I'm trying. We're both over that,
Oh.
so I'm trying to range it in here.
I could see
Great radio.
we'll go 20.
Okay, so
I think he can be.
I'm
right
outside of
at
it as well. I think it should be Eastern time, and that's not for selfish reasons at all. Okay, so those are the power rankings. Everybody will surely have no problem with those, and give us all a pat on the back for a job well done. But it's not over yet. First, we need to crown our champions. Same order, Detroit. Give us your champion for 2021 in the KDFL.
Well, you would think that since I picked myself as the number one power ranking team, that I would pick myself to win
It
it.
would only be logical.
But I am cursed, just like my favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Every time I make the playoffs, I get knocked out. Never can get the victory. I will make it a third year in a row. Might even be close to having the best record. But I will get knocked out. And my team that's going to win it all is actually the team that I have as my biggest surprise that could shock. And that's the Polka Pharmacist and LJ. So
Very nice,
that's my
very
surprise
nice.
team. And who's going to win it all?
Is that your dark horse too? Is that what you're trying
Dark
to say?
horse. That's what I meant. Dark horse. Because they didn't make the playoffs last year.
This guy.
So the dark horse has
Phil.
to be the team to make the playoffs.
I got you. Phil.
Well, I'm going to go with myself and the Lumberjacks to win simply because I really need to win this league. I just really want to win. That's all. I mean,
So I have this highly sophisticated sheet right here that I recorded everybody. Beautiful handwriting. Detroit picks himself number 1. Doesn't pick himself to be the champion, oddly enough. Phil picks himself number 5, and then picks himself to be the champion.
because I feel like these power rankings are at this point in time, like
Oh, it's for the season.
right before the season starts.
Look, I promise, my turn. I promise the fine people of the city of Gardens, Dunbar, I promised them on the last show of season 2 that we would give them a champion. And it's not going to be me. So I'll lean on the Baboli, bearded barons. They've tried everything. They've used Dustin they've used the Wampus Cats as a farm system to cultivate this team. They got McCaffrey. They got Jacobs. They got Kamara. Everything is in order for them to take it. So I'm going with the Dunbar's own Baboli bearded barons to win the championship this year. Now, Detroit, since you gave us your dark horse as the pharmacist, Phil, what is your dark horse? Oh, crap. I forgot about this, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with your Mega Powers as the dark horse. I mean, you are kind of in a rebuild a little bit, but I still feel like your team is decent enough to, if everything goes right, your team has a good chance at competing late in the season.
We got the manager that can get it done. I'll tell you that. Now,
Well, I don't know about that.
my dark horse. I just fell in love with this team, and they got my boy, the Roxanne Renegades. I love them. I love those trio of running backs. I love Kyle Pitts. I like the quarterbacks. They'll get us through the year. Waddle may really shock everybody and be a sustainable, startable piece every week for fantasy. I'm going with the Renegades to shock the world and win the championship again if everything goes right. So that's it. That's power. Let's go through it all. That's draft history. That's power rankings. That's champion. That's biggest sleeper. Therefore, it's only time for one thing, boys. It is time to get into the meat and potatoes of why we do this. Week 1 is upon us. It starts tonight by the time this launches. Here we go. First up, the Dunbar Dobermans take on the Roxanne Renegades. Detroit, take it away. Let's get our first prediction of 2021.
All right, so we got basically Keith versus Eric. I love Eric this week. Like I said, I love his linebackers. We touched on that earlier. He does have some really good running backs. Not that I'm a big fan of Swift. Touched on that. I'm wondering if he'll have to go to Jared Goff at all this year. That's going to be interesting. But as for the Dobermans, I can't wait to see what the Steelers do with Harris. Josh Allen projected to do 22 points this week. I definitely think he'll go over that. And I want to see how Burrow bounces back from his injury from last year. So with that said, I'm definitely going with the Renegades.
Phil.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it short and simple. That way we can move along. I'm going to go with the Renegades as well. I do think the Dobermans are going to be there at least next year. I think they're going to have a really good team. He may win a good amount of games this year too, but yeah, I'm going to go Renegades.
It's a consensus to start us off in 2021. I'm riding the momentum of my beautiful speech I just made, and I'm going Renegades to win. Tough matchups everywhere in this one. And by the way, I do think you'll have to go to Jared Goff because I think game scripts will end up dictating it. The lines will get destroyed in some games. Jared Goff will get the pass at the end. Tua has a solid defense. He's going to have to pivot off that at some point if Tua ends up managing games. All right. Next up. We have the Baboli Bearded Barons versus the Melbourne Mega Powers. It's the first battle of the Sunshine State. Go ahead, Detroit.
Well, I mean, we know how Brett feels about the Barons this year. He's been kissing his butt all this entire podcast. Matt.
Said his name once for the champion.
Anyways, with that said, I do like Matt this week over the Mega Powers. I'm really down on your team this year, Brett.
Shocker.
I think you're in full rebuild.
Wow.
Matt's skill positions are just, they're just unbelievable. I'm not even sure you have any skill positions where you're better. Maybe Dak.
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, yeah, Calvin Ridley.
Mark Andrews. No, crap. No, Mark Andrews. Get out of here.
Yeah, anyways. I think Kamara and CMC is probably the best 1-2 punch for running backs in this league. So I'm definitely going with the Barons.
Phil.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same way. The Barons. McCaffrey, Wilson, and Hopkins are his projected leaders. You have Prescott coming back. I think he's going to have a good season, but it may just not be enough in this game. So I'm going to go Barons.
I am going to beat the Baboli Bearded Barons in week 1. It's going to be a wake-up call for him. It's going to be like Tom Brady with the 4 against the Bears where he doesn't know what the heck's going on. It's got to get their head right, got to get their head in the game. I am relying specifically on my Falcons versus Eagles game. I'm relying on Ridley. I'm relying on Devonta Smith against the Falcons. We'll see what Dak does. I'm also relying on Mark Andrews. Again, I didn't mean to do that again. Mark Andrews against the Raiders on Monday Night Football. I'm heavily relying on that. So I just like my wide receiver matchups a lot. Cooks gets Jacksonville. Judy gets the New York Giants. We'll see. I literally have in my notes, I'm going to beat them. I don't know. I just don't know how. So there we go. Next up. Kanawha County Kings take on the Wake Forest Lumberjacks.
Oh, so we got Tim versus our original podcast host, Phil.
The OG.
Oh, sorry. Tim's team is just bad. You look at these matchups, according to ESPN, he has the only offensive players that he supposedly has advantage is Kirk Cousins over Matt Ryan and Tanyan over Eric Ebron. Well, Eric Ebron I can see. But as for that, that's the only advantages. Phil's defense is way better. I just think this is going to be a monster blowout. I think Phil is going to be high after week 1. He's going to think his team's really the best. So I'm definitely going with Phil this week.
Phil.
Yeah, I think, as you were saying, I just have a really good matchup in week 1. Possibly the worst team in the league to start it off, to make me feel like I am the best team in the league, which I will probably feel like that after week 1. And then I'll lose 4 in a row and start trading all of my good players, and then win 3 in a row and say, oh, wait, I'm still in this. And then I trade for some good players, and then that'll be it. Anyways, I'll get the win here.
All right, look, I'm picking the Lumberjacks. Ryan gets the Eagles. I just said it from the previous game. It's a great matchup. Mac's first game is against the Miami defense. Also not great. It's just, I have it right now. It's just not enough. The King's quest of, I'm coining the phrase, just getting through to be on to 22. The King's quest begins here. Let's just close our eyes and wait for the sweet embrace of death and 2022 season. Lumberjacks win. I want that in the t-shirt. Just getting through to be on the 22. All right. Next up, the South Hills Evil Empire versus the Marmette Midnight Riders. Detroit, take it away.
Oh, the battle of the Thunder Buddies.
Thunder Buddies.
I think this is going to be a close game. The Evil Empire, I mean, I was looking at this earlier. If you look at the skill positions, it has the Midnight Riders have an advantage at 5 out of the 4 positions. Just think a couple years ago, when you look back on the Evil Empire's team, there's no way that anybody would have had an advantage over his players. So that's kind of a bit of a shock. I do like the Evil Empire's defense, and I think that's just going to give him just enough to get the win this week, but it's going to be probably the closest game of the week.
Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I think his defense, the Evil Empire's defense, will keep this a close game, but I have the Midnight Riders getting somewhat of an upset win here in week 1.
Nice.
I think Tyreek Hill's going to have a big day. Justin Jefferson should have a really big day. And I think Darnold's going to surprise some people in Carolina. I don't think he's going to have to throw a lot, but I think he's going to be efficient when he does throw. It's hard to pick against Mahomes. Sorry, I wasn't done yet.
Okay, yeah.
It's hard to pick against Mahomes, Mixon and Robinson, and Barkley, who not really sure what Barkley's going to do, if he's even going to play that well or play at all. But, yeah, I'm just going to go Midnight Riders with the slight upset.
All right. So I have this as the South Hills. I swear Detroit has my notes. The South Hills, so close, though. This game is going to go over. Points. This is probably be the highest scoring game of the week. Here's the problem. Marmette counterpunches the Evil Empire so well. It really is. He gets Mahomes. Well, if Mahomes has a great game, so will Hill. He's got Hill. He gets Jimmy G. If Jimmy G has a great game, so will Deebo Samuel, more than likely. He's got that. But the strength of running back of the Evil Empire and Robinson getting to go against the Texans' terrible defense and the defense and the Evil Empire's defensive advantage is enough to put them over the top. I do have them winning a close, high-scoring game. So 2-1 Evil Empires on our little pick here. Next up, Oakview River Rats, Poker Pharmacists, Detroit. Take it away.
Looking at the ESPN projections, it has me as a 6-point favorite right now. This could be another close one. He has Tannehill going against Arizona, and the Steelers going against the Bills and Buffalo. I like Lamar going against the Raiders. I think the Raiders are not going to be very good this year. Yes, that's another shout out to Matt. I got Rodgers and Adams going against the Saints. I like that. I like my defense. So I'm just going to pick myself. So
there you go.
Let's go. Let's get. By the way, our division, I think, is easily the best division in the league with me, LJ, and Nick. So I just had to get that off my chest.
Conference pride again. You're that guy.
How are you going to leave out Bustin? You said you, LJ, and Nick, but you didn't mention
Yeah,
Bustin.
I was talking.
Anyway, left out Bustin until last night. He traded off again.
That's true. Yeah. I think this is actually might be the highest scoring game
Could be.
of the week. And I'm going to go with the Pharmacist to get the win here, to get started early this season on his path to a playoff run. But I think Evil Empire, or not Evil, sorry, we're not talking about them anymore. I think that River Rats will bounce back after this week, but I just think it's a tough matchup to start the season. So
It's going to be interesting, by the way. He's got 5 players going tomorrow night. I have 0. So
Wow. This is
I'll be
how big a lead is it? How big
I'm
a
going
lead
to be
is
looking
it?
at the score all week. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I look at this. It's pretty simple to me. I love that the River Rats that Lamar's getting Vegas. And I think Mostert is healthy right now, and he gets the Lions right now. So he's going to go off in this game. And I think Zeke has a tough matchup with Zach Martin, and the Tampa Bay's defense is pretty stout, if you don't remember. So I think it's a tough matchup for one of his key players. So I am going with the River Rats. All right. As is tradition in the KDFL, our first game of the week is the ring ceremony. It's the Hurricane Wampus Cats traveling to Cross Vegas to take on the 2020 champion Cross Vegas Gamblers. Detroit, go ahead.
Yeah, I touched on this earlier. The only thing that worries me about with the Gamblers is the quarterback situation. His offensive players, I think, are just way better than Bustin's. Bustin's pretty much just traded off his team. So I don't think this one's going to be close. This could also be one of the biggest blowouts of the night. So I'm going to go with the Gamblers.
Phil.
Nothing really to say about Bustin, but he does have a nice core. We touched on that earlier with those three.
Yeah, I mean, he has a solid core like Murray and Herbert at his quarterback position. But I think that might be where a lot of his points come from. I just don't think it's going to be enough against the Gamblers. The Gamblers have a really good squad, so I think they're going to get a fairly
There's really
good
not
win.
much to say about this game, to be honest.
Real quick, I think we are kind of overstating the core. It's very nice, but a lot of us have it now. If Deshaun's there, Dak and Deshaun, you have Rodgers and Lamar. If Lawrence is anything, like, it's not that big a difference. I mean, like Wilson and Carr, like, it's not crazy different. It's a good set, but I mean, he's going to need a lot more pieces now that he's mortgaged off half his team. So basically, I have the pick as the Gamblers. The Wampus Cats have sold off. It's spring celebration time in Vegas. So let's go. That's how we end season one. Or
Let's do it.
Week one.
Right.
Except we can't sign off now because we have to do our locks of the week, and Detroit has to say a little something like he always does. That's it, though, boys. That's it. That's a long show. That's our longest show to date. Am I missing anything? Because usually it's the part where I miss something.
No, not really.
I have something to break down next week for the KDFL that I should have done this week, but it'll be fine to do next week, so it's okay.
That's cool.
Teaser.
Well, we're gonna do the locks of the week again. I think Phil, you won it last year, didn't you? I have to go back and check.
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember.
I had to do a 5-team parlay to have a chance. I had to actually bet it, and I felt
Yeah, that's
so
right.
go ahead.
I don't even remember. I think Phil won the weekly predictions too.
Probably.
So, anyways, my lock of the week this week is I'm going with the Packers against Las Vegas. And I believe it's in Las Vegas, but I don't.
It is not the Packers versus Las Vegas.
Packers.
The New Orleans.
I meant New Orleans. Sorry, I meant
Yes.
New Orleans. It's at New Orleans. So I'm going with them -4.5. And I have a special for you people out there today. I'm probably going to do this every week just because. And I'm going to have the upset of the week. It's not really a huge upset, but I got the Colts getting 2 points against the Seahawks. So that's my upset of the week. Once again, everyone, these are just our picks. We don't advise you to bet or gamble. But if you did, these would be our picks. So.
Do not mortgage your house on these picks.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks again for watching the show. Brett, you suck.
Phil, tell the people how to get in touch with us.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't really need to tell it. It should be on the screen right below you.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say it anyways. At BrettStill2, at Detroit8374, and at Phil Ruxy. And the show at Phil. This show you can follow at KDFL Podcast. And my lock of the week for week one, I feel like I'm going out on a limb a little bit. I'm going to go Jets getting 5 at Carolina.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, my luck of the week, I think the Cleveland Browns got a little lucky last year against the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs I know that the Chiefs won, but it's a little controversial and they played them much tougher than people thought. I think the Chiefs are going to wax the Browns in week one. I'm going to give the Browns the 5.5. What's ironic is I always have 3 picks here in case you two take my ones before. And my 2 other picks were the Packers giving the points to New Orleans and the Jets getting the points against Carolina. So that's pretty wild. You should probably avoid all of these at all costs considering those were my 3. Yes, sir.
I want to emphasize that when I say my upset of the week, I'm not taking the 2 points. I'm just
okay. I was about to give you crap for that, but I wanted to move on. I was like, please tell me you mean money line.
Yes, I meant money line. They're 2-point underdogs.
Right.
So I'm taking them to win straight up. Sorry.
Right. So we have points wise, we have the Packers giving the points to New Orleans. We have the Jets giving the points to Carolina, and we have the Jets getting the points against Carolina. My bad. Right. And we have the Chiefs giving the 5.5 to the Browns.
Is it
That's it,
only
boys.
5.5?
I went off DraftKings Sportsbook right before we came
Okay.
on to make sure.
All
So
right.
I actually have that line as the Packers giving 3.5 to New Orleans. So
Oh, wow.
depending on where you're at. So that's it. The first mega show, which might end up being a tradition. We'll see the first mega show in our history. The next episodes will be shorter, mercifully. So for Jonathan, Detroit Haynes, for Mr. Toughing It Out, Phil Ruxy, I'm Brett Steele. Thank you for listening to the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast, and we will see you next week. Bang, bang.